I don't know.
I want some nasty. Are we having fun yet?
All right, guys. So let's talk about Bryce McGowens, because I have to talk about this because I'm not 100% sure how I feel about him. So first and foremost, as we always do, we're going to see where he lands in the draft more than likely, and we're going to talk about his stats and what he brings to the NBA, essentially. So first and foremost, let's see where he's going to land. So as it stands right now, we have quite a few mock drafts anyway, having him land late in the first round. So I'm just going to make an assumption that that's where he's going to land. And honestly, I don't think that that's a bad place for him. I would actually say second round. There's even a few guys in the second round that I would take over him, but we'll get into that in a minute. But overall, yeah, that seems about right. So that's where he's kind of projected right now. So going forward, let's go ahead and look at his stats, because that's what people kind of care about, right? So statistics, 16.8 points per game, 5.2 rebounds, 1.4 assists, 40% field goal percentage. Now, if we see here, you see that he can definitely score. He has quite a few games where he lights it up, but from the three, not so much. It is not looking that good from the three. As you can see, he's shooting 27.4 percentage from three. But with that being said, his free throw percentage is 83%. So it shows that he does have a nice shooting stroke, and it's something that he can definitely work on. Even someone like Sohan, who I personally really love, he's shooting about 50%, and a lot of people are kind of expecting that he won't get that much better shooting. But you have to look at the free throw percentage, and the fact that he's at 83%, that shows that he does have a shooting stroke to him. It's just that the threes are not necessarily there for him right now. Cannot shoot from deep. And also, I would like to add that he attempts to shoot from three quite often. There's a lot of 2 for 8s, 1 for 7s, 3 for 7s. So he's there when he has the shot and he feels that it's open. He will let that thing rip. So what type of player is he? Well, we have to really just talk about offense, because offensively, I will say this: he is very savvy around the rim, like very, very savvy. Not only is he savvy and he kind of knows when to throw the ball up as soon as he feels contact, he will actively seek that contact at times as well. I'll be honest with you, if I was a defender in the paint, I would not want to see him coming through the paint, because he will try to look for that contact. And that's a really good quality for any player in the NBA, to look for contact, to try to draw fouls. And with him shooting 83% from free throws, that fits right in with what he does. Now, with that being said, I will say this: it's not a lot to his game that I necessarily like. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but when I look into him, I don't really like anything else. Honestly, I like his savviness. I like that he is pretty quick. He can stop and go pretty well. I like his first step. He's definitely athletic, and I will say this too: I do like his length. He has a lot of length to him. But overall, as far as him as a player, I don't know. I don't really think there's a lot there. He doesn't really create his own shot too much. He's quick enough that he can kind of get to open spots. But overall, I don't see much there offensively other than that. Now, this is the part where I'm going into that makes me really iffy, okay? This is the part of the story where I'm just not 100% sure how I feel about him. And it's two things actually in particular. Number one that we're talking about is his balance. He is very off balance, especially when he has to create his own shot. It's just always pretty ugly, and I think that's part of his three-point percentage being so low as well, is he's creating his own shot, or he's taking more than one dribble and pulling up. It typically doesn't look good, okay? It's always a little off. Now, the thing that I hate the most, and this is just going to be my honest take here, okay? The thing that I really hate the most, and this is just another unbalanced shot, is his defense. His defense is god awful. It is god awful. I'm sorry. I know that it can improve. He definitely have athleticism where he can kind of build onto it, and his lateral quickness isn't terrible, but man, I don't know if he's not engaged or he just doesn't have the strength to get around screens. But even this play in particular, they completely attack him. He lost his guy not once, but twice. Like, look at this. Lose the guy, gets a new next guy and loses him too. He does it. It's pretty bad. Like, it's pretty apparent that his defensive side of the ball is not good. I just got to show you this one more time. Look at this. oh my God. But his defense is not good. Now on ball, it's not terrible. From what I've seen, on ball defense isn't god awful. Okay, he's a little flat-footed, so I think that he does get a little slow sometimes. Trying to stay in front of his guy. But there's been a few occasions that I've seen and a few breakdowns of him where his on ball defense isn't just too bad. But I will say, man, overwhelmingly his offense is the positive thing of his game. Now going into the pros and cons. Now this is what we got to talk about. All right, let's see if we agree with any of this. And if they don't say, oh my God, if they say that he's a good defender, I'm gonna lose it. All right, so here we go. So he's 6'6", 175 weight. Oh, and one thing I want to mention as well, because his height and everything, he can take really long strides to the basket. So when I was talking about how he's really savvy around the basket, that's one thing I didn't bring up. He can take some really long strides because his legs are so long. I don't know if that matters or anybody cares about that, but just something that I forgot to bring up. All right, so going forward, pros, decent scorer off the dribble. Yeah. Excels. Oh my goodness, scaring. What the heck? Excels at scoring on off-ball motion plays. Adequate playmaker. No, I'm gonna disagree with that like completely. I don't even know if he's adequate. Honestly, there's been so many plays that I've seen where he just doesn't know where to go with the ball. He's so dependent on his savviness around the rim and getting to the line that there's times where he just throws it away, or it's just a really bad pass on the baseline. So I wouldn't even say adequate. DC rebounder, yes. He's always looking for rebounds. And he is physical. Okay, he does like to get physical, so that's a positive. Let's see, adequate defender. Moving on. Very good athlete. Yes, very good athlete. Cons. Needs to improve his shooting. Sure. Prone to hoisting up questionable shots. Sure. Struggles to consistently score with his left hand. Sure. Can be undisciplined defense. Needs to add strength. Yes, he needs to add a little bit of strength. Bryce McGowens is a very athletic swingman that has the elite physical tools that NBA teams and scouts want out of a player his size. He is an aggressive scorer that will look for his own shot, and he can also throw down impressive highlight reel worthy dunks. He is also a long and athletic, we talked about this, defender that can use his length to force misses. Yeah, honestly, that's all it's coming from. It's coming from the athleticism. It's coming from how his body is built, but it's not coming from the mentality. I'm telling you, I'm not high on him defensively. But he also can tend to be too undisciplined on the defense. There we go. Defensive end. And he also can get out-muscled by stronger opponents to allow scores. He'll need to be more consistent shooter and defender in games, but he is a talented prospect that may possess plenty of upside. McGowens may be far from being a polished player right now, but his vast athleticism and considerable upside may make him a tantalizing prospect in 2022 draft. Where do they have him landing? Late to first, second round. Yeah, that's about right. Honestly, I'm not too high on him. It's not that I think that he's going to be a bad player in the NBA. He just comes across as one of those guys that just needs so much stuff to work on, to the point where if I have a 20 to 25 pick in the draft, I don't know if I really want to use it on that. And there's a lot of guys, even in the second round, that are more polished than this. So we'll just see where he lands when it's all said and done. I'm not completely high on him, but hey, it's just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you want to support the channel, only $2 per month. Patreon, YouTube members, link in the description. I'll give it to you guys later. Till next time. Deuces.